it felt like your dice are jinxed, like you couldn't succeed in a simple check to save your life, or your character's life to be exact. Well, I have many times. This is why I decided to turn this kid's toy into a magical jinx remover dice holder that lights up on its own because it's magical. I started with taking a picture of said toy and uploaded it into Bamboo Lab, but it did not catch the fine details of the original, so I had to first find a way to make them more visible. I spray painted the bottle white and brushed black chalk all over it. Then I scanned the picture of it into Bamboo Lab and created a 3D model of it. This is a huge improvement. Lots of details, very close to what I had imagined. After a few tweaking in Blender, I had a half bottle which was sadly too thin for what I wanted. The second attempt was much better. I assembled the mold parts, also 3D printed. Could have used a cardboard box in the right size, but I'm fancy like that. I filled the inside of my bottle with plastiline. This would block the silicone while also giving my model enough weight to not float up in the silicone. A piece of cutout pencil in each side will create a center connection point between the two parts of the mold. Now it was time to pour some silicone. After I spent 10 minutes trying to work the scale, realizing the batteries were dead and that I have no spare ones at home. Okay, we got the batteries! While pouring the silicone, it's important for me to mention that my eyes don't really move this fast. It's just because the video is sped up. We have some concerning leaks here, but there's really nothing for me to do about it but wait and hope for the best. Luckily, the leaks weren't bad enough to ruin my mold. After a little cleaning up and smearing some Vaseline on the cured silicone, I was ready for part 2. I brushed some mica powder into my mold before adding the resin, and then I set it outside for the night. And in the next morning I had another half bottle. But hey, this one was purple and glimmering and beautiful. Then I made another one and glued them together with some UV resin. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this looks bad. I really hope that the lines would be less visible, but it's ugly. And this is it. This was my idea. There was no backup plan. So after a few days that my brain was running around in circles, refusing to let it go, I think I finally have an idea. Translucent filament. Once I saw that they have it in purple, I knew it was destined to be. Look how pretty this is. So I went back into Blender to make some tweaking. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a few tries before I got it right. Maybe too many tries. Finally, I had my bottle, but I still had to remove the top and the bottom layer with the knife since I couldn't get my printer to not do this, and I really didn't want to waste any more material. And once I glued the magnet into place, the bottle was ready. I'm using foam flour for the base because I don't need any special tools to get the shape I want. The problem is I need to be very gentle with it because it's really soft before it gets a layer of Mod Podge. While that was drying, I went back to Blender to make a plate that says Vessel of Purification, remembering to flip the text in the last second so that imprinting it will not get me a mirrored writing. I pressed it into a strip of EVA foam and glued it around the base, some more EVA on the top and the bottom, and filled the gaps with acrylic soup, followed by a layer of Mod Podge. After that, I gave it a base coat. So I wanted to paint the letters gold, but all I had around the house was a huge jar of bronze, so I decided it was good enough. The second layer of paint I mixed with baking soda, then I roughed it up a little bit with a knife. After a black wash and some dry brushing, I managed to create a stone-like texture. At the last second, I decided to add clear varnish into the letter's indent. I used the same methods to make the cap. So now we've come to the fun part, or the magical part, the light. This is just a basic battery house with a switch connected to a reed switch, and from there to an LED filament. This makes it so that whenever a magnet comes close enough, it should be lighting up. Cool, huh? The lid for the base I made out of PVC sheet and a ring of gold polymer clay. So it was kind of a bumpy ride, but finally I'm finished. All that's left is to put all the parts together and see how it looks.